Our purpose is to build a holistic voice that creates a community of like-minded, healthy people for a healthier planet. Our goal is to unify the community, nourishing the growth in mind, body, spirit, awareness, and wellness. We want to engage our community and visitors so they have access to powerful momentum of the holistic presence in our community. We do this by creating awareness through interviews, providing education and awareness of cutting-edge modalities. We also provide access for consumers to quality natural health and wellness professional and practitioners and like-minded business that support this community. Thank you for listening with us on Healthy Planet One. Stay with us for the next interview with our next holistic guest.
Welcome, everyone. This month's focus is the Growing a Better Tomorrow and Living Green. And we're going to explore this aspect in several different ways. We're excited to present 4 different guests, and we're excited for you to and invite you to listen in each week. There's going to be Mondays at 7 a.m. and Thursdays at 6 p.m. So today we're going to be talking to Laurel James, and the topic is the yoga of home. Doesn't that sound interesting? So Laurel is the founder of Interiorology, and a little bit about this is healthy living for the mind, body, and home. She's also the author of the book Interiorology-Home Design from Within, and how to create a living environment that reflects the true you. And Laurel, I have your book right here. My favorite section is the nature section. Mm-hmm. She's a graduate right here of the Ringling College of Arts and Design, and she's a nationally certified interior designer. She also, very interestingly, which I love, and I can't wait to take one of your classes, she's a Kundalini yoga teacher, the yoga of awareness, and her yoga studies include authentic relationships, conscious communication, life cycles, stress and vitality, mind and meditation. So the whole gamut. We've got such great stuff to talk to you about, Laurel. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So mm-hmm. Today, maybe you can just start by telling us a little bit about like your initial passion for all of this.
Well, my initial passion, and thank you for having me on this show, and I'm so happy to be here, having people align and reconnect with who they authentically are. Being an interior designer of 25 or so years, I found that the exciting part for me when I was designing for clients on the preliminary stage was getting to know them, seeing what transition they were going through, which they all were going through some kind of transition when you're redesigning your home or moving.
Right.
And really getting to know the person and what they were wanting to become mm-hmm. versus what they were. And it was so fun to be able to match up and then go design a home for them. I just love that. And the passion of just bringing in nature and things that they naturally love about themselves.
Wonderful. Of course, that allows you to create a much better outcome with your work with interior design. Mm-hmm. And so the topic today is the yoga of home. So what do you mean by the yoga of home?
So after I became an interior designer over the years, and I'll talk about my transition in a little while, I came along to the Kundalini yoga, which is the yoga of awareness. And I just kind of want to demystify the word yoga. Yoga just means union. Mm-hmm. And so what I mean by the word yoga is union of yourself and union of everything around you in your home. Mm-hmm. So the part of you and who you are and who all you be, it's a holistic way of saying that we're in relationship with our environment and everything around us and relationship with who we are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, totally. No, it's a holistic way of looking at living in your home, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, like bringing in all of that. So mm-hmm. The other part, interiorology, That might be a new word to some people. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay. So interiorology, I came up with the word and branded it. I actually trademarked the word in my book. Mm-hmm. And it's about a philosophy. I found along the way when I was doing the preliminary process with my clients that there were these universal principles that anybody could use to reflect on and look at when they were working in their home. So, and looking at themselves. So, I went through a major transition about 10 or 15 years into my career as an interior designer. And I went through a divorce, and I also was downsizing from the recession that we had. Mm-hmm. And I ended up having to move into this old 1950s home, and it had white walls to it. And I started to get out the paint deck, like I had done for hundreds of people. And I remember just sitting on the floor crying, going, I don't know what to pick for myself. I felt like calling my clients and asking them because I had no idea. And it's that time I was like, you know what? There are these philosophy, these things that I help my clients with. So I literally just went outside and sat in the yard under a tree and just thought about things and thought about all the things that connected me to, or helped me connect back with what it is I wanted to decorate and have my home support me.
Mm-hmm. That sounds like your chapter. That's one of my favorites. The natural elements, chapter 4, right?
Yeah. And as I went through the process of writing this book, I also found other tools that I just really enjoyed bringing in, not only for myself, but with my clients. And my whole design process of helping people evolved into something completely different than interior design. It became more of an inner look and an inner mind-body connection with their environment, working with their senses. And it started with my training with Kundalini yoga and really taking a look at reconnecting with what I call our inner home, our inner selves, and how to touch base with that, as well as the tool of certified pure therapeutic grade essential oils came along as another way to bring nature back in and help us reconnect with our senses and our environment.
Right.
I love that, Laurel, because, one of the things that we talk about in the classes that I teach is how disconnected we've come to nature. And when you talked about your example of like being in the space of I don't know what to do, and then going out and sitting under a tree, that's a part of how nature really supports us. And so when we start connecting with the oils, of course, we're connecting with the essences of the plants as well. And they actually work biochemically, obviously, with our brain and what have you. They help to calm us. They help to focus ourselves. So that really ties in. I love how you tie in that emotional, physical, environmental part of our health, and coming from that space as opposed to just designing a space to what's hot and what's not, like that.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. So important. And there's color psychology. There's all these parts of our senses to really design a happy, healthy home.
So I found it very interesting that the nature element is green. That reflects, and on the outside of your book, people that have not seen it, it's all of the chakras, and the green represents the heart. And as a health coach, I go into people's homes and I help them detox, reorganize, and support the health and the heart of their home. And isn't that wonderful? And then about, bringing in plants and helping to clean up the environment. So it's really connected, I think. Oh, and Patricia, you just started talking about the healing power of nature. And I think I saw the other day that you posted something on Facebook about they've got this new term for if you're deficient in nature, like psychoterapeutic or something like that. What was it? You posted it. It's about being disconnected. We're also disconnected with nature.
Oh, psychotraumatic. Yeah.
Yeah. Psychotraumatic. Yeah.
And that's why I like your approach, Laurel, in that you start from within. And as you heal that within, then you can express that in a more authentic way without. That's what I see in the work that you're doing. Is that correct?
Yes, that's very correct. And I always think of what they say when you're on an airline taking a flight somewhere, put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. It's so important, especially in this. It's so true, right? And we forget that, like, taking care of ourselves, loving ourselves, just tuning in to ourselves for 5 minutes a day is so important. We have so much outside stimuli going on, and so much screen time, and just, I mean, think about when you wake up in the morning and you turn all your emails on and you have to go through them. There's just so much information. And I'm always teasing my husband that he's having an affair with his other lover called Feng. Because there's just so much information out there, and he's such an out there guy, and I'm the in there girl. And so it's like, I have to tell him, put the phone down. I know that's really good information, but pay attention to me, or pay attention to yourself, Well,
and oftentimes, isn't it true, Laurel, that people often just wait for some sort of catastrophe or disaster or illness that has them look at what's going on in the world. I remember when I lived in California, when the earthquake happened, you can't believe the number of people that left their jobs, that moved out of state, that just started to rethink their lives because they realized that they were out of touch. Now, why do we have to wait for that 2x4 to hit us over the head? Right?
Yes. And just to kind of back that up too, when I teach Kundalini yoga, one of our warm-ups is always just to get up and shake it out. Like, our bodies do not know the difference between a saber-toothed tiger running after us or being stressed out in traffic. So it's really good to just shake it out. Be aware that your thoughts and your stress levels are all when you're holding it in, it's creating this dis-ease in our bodies. And so it's really awesome to be so mindful. There's so many statistics on research. One of my favorite books is called Meditation as Medicine. And he, I believe the author of that, if not one of his colleagues, teaches classes at Harvard University just on mind and meditation as medicine for our body. And so many statistics have come out about the effects of changing our memory loss and helping the blood flow come back in, and chronic insomnia and anxiety. It's so amazing just what sitting down and having mindful meditation can do for us.
Well, is that one of the things that you do in your Bringing in Nature Wellness consultation?
I do. So I'm really helping people look at a holistic way of bringing themselves back into alignment in their environment. So it's looking at specific meditations and maybe specific stretches and warm-ups too that can really help them as a tool in their everyday life.
Well, I love that you talk about bringing nature and the connection to nature and reminding people how important that is, because they've been talking about ecotherapy like it never existed and to heart health. But our heart is the only organ in the body that will communicate with nature, thus the relaxation and the calming effects. And just as you mentioned, I never recommend to any of my clients to get up and check their emails first. I actually recommend you get up and you do a little meditation, just like you spoke about, to grow into the day and get that grounding. I mean, we all go to the beach here now to get grounding because of the EMFs and the disturbances we're getting. So it's so wonderful that you're doing that.
Yes, and just to back that up,